Hello, welcome back to another Minecraft video. My name is Engineer, and welcome to Pilot Training Flight Simulator. This is a flight plane game related, and we're going to take a look at all the airports. Without further ado, let's get into it. Greater Rockford. Very interesting airport. I really like how this airport looks, although it's just one single area with 5 terminals. The control tower is pretty far away. There are 2 runways, however, so there's a runway here and a runway there, but they're not like in the way that I like them to be, but they're in 3618 as well, which is also very annoying. So I would give this not bad airport. It's definitely the most popular airport, it's the most central out of all of them, but next one. Perth International. Again, another big airport, but this one's absolutely huge. I'm serious, it's so huge. Definitely one of the better airports, one of the new ones as well. It's got 2 intersecting runways, a runway here and a runway there. The control tower is very close. Terminal area, though, should do some work. There's only 6 gates, and they constantly get filled. The second most used airport, but I see the layout of this looks really nice and looks really phenomenal. So, good job, Orange, in this one, but next one. Larnaca. Definitely one of the bigger airports in the game. It's got one single runway, 10-8, not bad. Got a one cargo area, maintenance base, a pretty interesting terminal complex, but the terminal is kind of far away from the runway, and the control tower is really far away from the runway. I don't even know how they see all of it, but they do. But anyway, this airport's not bad, so I would give it a good if I were rating this in a tier list, which I'm not. I'm not rating it in a tier list. Next one. Larnaca Airport. Definitely my favorite, or one of my favorite airports on the map. It's pretty big. Control tower is actually very close to the runway, which is 624. Got a maintenance base, and the cargo area is right next to the terminal complex, which I think looks the best out of the map. It looks very, very good. Helipad's a little far away, and the airport layout looks really nice, so I would say this is a great tier. This airport looks really good, and I'd like to fly to this one. Barthélemy Airport. Definitely an interesting airport. The terminal complex is kind of small, actually. There's only 4 gates, and don't even boarding bridges. The ground crew area is like off by itself. Control tower is pretty close to the runway, single runway airport. Can't handle all the planes though, can only handle specific types. And then there's also the maintenance base area, but there's no cargo area. None of the airports after which the 4 that I just mentioned have cargo bases. Anyway, not bad, but definitely could do a little bit of work, like extending the runway and adding gates. That would be really nice. Paphos Airport. Another small airport, but this is definitely my favorite airport out of all the airports here. Very cool, very compact. No, not compact, spread out. Very spread out, it's really cool. Got a single runway though, 1735, I haven't already said. Although there are no gates, the control tower is pretty close, but I would still say that it's probably the best airport here, definitely, without a doubt. Although there are, for some odd reason, no Pappies on 17 for some reason. There's only Pappies on 3.5, so that might be a bug. Maybe that's just me being stupid and I don't see them. Southamptona. Another small airport, similar to Paphos, although it has the old setup for the touchdown points, what the Englishmen use. It's got no connections to either side of the runways, so you need to like backtrack, which is really annoying. There's not even any stands here. It's like St. Barthélemy on steroids, and the control tower is even awful. Bad. Awful, awful, awful. I hate this airport. It's really annoying. Although it's the only airport on Southamptona Island. Oh, yeah, and Santa Sled flies here. Another small airport. Definitely a nice airport, though. It's got some gates or some stands, but other stands are just regular old stands, like stand 1 and like stand 4. But other than that, it's got 2 terminals, single runway. Not very compact, but kind of both. There's this little area over here as well. Not bad overall, but definitely could do a little bit of tweaking to make it even more interesting. Larnaca. What type of airport is this? It's got a single, fairly long runway, backtrack area. Not even I don't even know what this runway is. It's not even an airport, it's like an airfield. Don't even any stands. Where do you spawn the aircraft here? Awful. 725 though is not actually a bad runway combination. Awful, awful, awful. I don't even know why this airport exists. Awful. St. Barthélemy. A small regional airport and the only airport on the island of St. Barthélemy. Got a single runway, 927, nothing much else, not even stands here. I mean, the control tower is pretty cool. I'd say this is a pretty cool airport overall, but I think it just is lacking with the stands. Kind of confusing, but definitely interesting airport. I like it. It's not the best one. And by the way, Paphos is the best. That's in my opinion, though. You never know. Training center. What goes on at this airport? You can only spawn one plane here. Seriously, what type of airport it is? It's situated next to a giant mountain. The airport's right here. You can only spawn one type of plane. The airport's small as heck. Only one taxiway. One taxiway. And that one taxiway only considers to the center of the runway, so you can't even access the runway without backtracking. It's like Southampton, but just on steroids. Hilarious. By the way, I hate this hill. Lukla. Tiny airport situated in the mountains. Got a single runway 927. You can access 9, but you can't access 27 without having to backtrack. The control tower is by itself. A very interesting airport. It's community airport. You can't really spawn much here. Runway's probably, this is actually the smallest runway, I think. So you can't spawn much here. You can only spawn like a Learjet. Otherwise, not bad airport. But this is a really nice airport, though, to do air shows at, which is why I'm gonna, the red arrows, we're gonna do this, something along the lines of this, and then turn the smoke off, and ta-da, little bit of a thing. Oh, ooh, that's an Easter egg. That's a plane crash. HMS Queen Elizabeth. This is literally an aircraft carrier. There's nothing much else to it, and I think this is hilarious as well, just the size of it. What's really funny, though, is the fact that whenever you try to do landing competitions here, or just ever land in here in general, you almost always fall off the end, and when someone does fall off the end, almost always, it's hilarious, it's hilarious. HMS Queen Elizabeth is a crown. I like it. Airbase Gary. Bad airport, I would say. A little small on the island of Greater Rockford. Very few stands, control tower, single runway. I would say that it's not the worst airport, but it's definitely situated really close to... What is this airport called? Oh, Greater Rockford. That's what it is. Greater Rockford. And the situation between it is just too big in my opinion. But not bad airport overall. But minus the fact that it's really close to Greater Rockford Airport and you can hear military jets like this all the time. Not the best. Not the best. RAF Scampton. Military airport. Similar to Airbase Gary, except it's more of a round shape. And the fact that you can spawn pretty much any military aircraft here is pretty cool. Although I do need to show you one thing, which apparently hasn't been patched. So the runway there says 13. And the other side here should really say 31. But apparently, it says 19. And that's a problem. So if we're going to see this, we're just going to go the correct direction. So just about in between. If you go 270, it's 270 degrees, 280, 290, 300, just about at 31. It's about 310 degrees. This is supposed to be 1331, but it's not. So that's a problem. This is also home to the board of all the Victory for Vulcan people. Tavaro Sea Base. This isn't even a base. We don't even have to talk about this. This is a sea. You don't even need to know about this. Nobody will ever go to here. Henstridge Airfield. So this one has a runway indicator on it. This is more of a airport-ish than a runway with a thing on it. What is this called? Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's not a terminal. It's not a hangar. It's both. Small airport. Not even an airport. It's a airfield. That's what it's supposed to be. Well, it's supposed to take up to like a MiG-15 on here. You can't do much with this. Aw, this one doesn't have an afterburner. Dang it. Waterloo. Another sea base. Next. Baltic Airfield. Everything that I said about Henstridge applies here. It's the same thing. It's just in a different island. Without any hangars. Awful. I hate airfields. They're annoying. Scapella's Airfield. It's the only airport on the island of Scapella's. So it's kinda sad. But at least you can spawn the DH6 Twin Otter. DHC, sorry. Twin Otter. You can get in the British Airways library. Because British Airways actually operated this plane for some odd reason. So you can do some routes here, but it's kind of awful, and there's not much you can do here. But it's the only island on Scapella, so it gets a pass. Sea Haven. Same thing. Nothing to it. Like, seriously, nothing. Barra Airport. Apparently this is the only airport where people use sand as a runway for takeoff. I don't know how they even do this. You can what planes can you spawn here, actually? That's what I'm curious about. What planes can... Oh, you can spawn. You can spawn awful planes here. Awful. Awful planes. Bad planes. This is all the planes you can spawn at this airport. I don't even know what this is. Jace. No, no, I do not want that. Awful. There we go. All the airports in PTFS. Laid out, simplified, and shown which ones are good and which ones are bad. Hopefully. Now, if you don't like this, then I don't know what to do with you. So that rounds up all of the airports in PTFS and the video for today. If you guys have liked this, leave a like. If you want to, make sure to subscribe. My name is Engineer, or that Engineer, depending on who you would think it would be. And I'm out of here. See y'all in the next one. And by the way, I love the Concorde. If you don't like the Concorde, then unsubscribe to my YouTube channel. No, I'm just kidding. Concorde's a really nice airplane. If you don't like it, then serious still. See you later.